What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. You guys know us by now. I'm Caleb. This is my wife Lilu, and we are Furniture Cowboy.
Yes. In today's video, we're going to be transforming this old changing table into a more modern, chic, boho dresser. So if you guys want to see that transformation, then please keep on watching. Oh, but before you keep watching, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell since we do upload twice a week.
Twice a week.
We don't know when each week, but we do it twice a week.
We don't know when, we don't know how, but we make it happen twice a week.
Exactly.
The first thing that we had to do for this piece was take off the changing table part because we didn't want it to be a changing table anymore. And this one was pretty difficult. I had a hard time figuring out how the heck to get it off. It was kind of attached by, I think it was built, yeah, I would have had to take it all apart to get the screws out. There were screws coming up this way, and I even looked in the drawers, took the drawers out, and I couldn't figure out where the screws were coming from. I couldn't see the screw head, so I don't recommend you do this at home, okay? These are the actions of a professional.
A professional newbie.
We can have a warning here. So I took a Dremel and I cut the screws off. I pulled them with a hammer and then cut with the Dremel between the hammer and the base of the screw because I wanted it to have wiggle room, so when I let go with the hammer it would kind of sink down a little bit. And then once I had those cut, which is always scary to me, I feel like metal's gonna fly everywhere. But I got it cut, and then I let it sink down a little bit and hammered it down so it would be flat with the surface.
Yes. Did we clean after that?
I think, hopefully we cleaned first, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to clean first. So we usually clean with General Green, Simple Green.
Who's General Green?
General Green was the elementary school I went to. General Green Elementary. Hopefully we remember to clean it. I'm bad. She's great. If she's there with me, then it's getting cleaned, everything's getting done properly. If she's not there with me, guys, then, you know, it's always a toss-up. You never know what's gonna get done and what's not gonna get done.
Let's talk about the next step. What do we do after?
So once we got those off, we had to fill in all the bumps with wood filler. It was mainly just those screws. I think there weren't really any chips or dings in this piece. It was in pretty good condition.
Yes.
So we just filled in over where I dremeled the screws off and then sanded it down and made sure we had a good surface to prime onto.
Yes, and I believe in one of our older pieces, when I was sanding down the wood filler, which, oh, by the way, the wood filler that we're using is the DAP plastic wood with the Drydex thing, which is like when it turns from pink to a natural wood color. We switch it up now though.
Yeah.
But before, when we were fixing up this dresser, we were using that one. It's kind of soft. It's very easy to sand off way too much and it kind of cracks in between. I was nervous to sand the holes down because in our previous projects, I think it was the green one, I sanded it off way too much and then you can see a little gap a little bit. You can see the little hole that was filled in. And so this time I did the opposite mistake of not sanding enough.
It's an easy mistake to make because when you're sanding it, it's much less obvious that you went too deep. But once you get that paint on, it's like, oh, clearly, you know, because it reflects light more, you can see that you went too deep. It's not a smooth surface. One good thing about the pink to brown wood filler is that it's great for newbies like we still are, but we were at the time. It makes it super obvious when it's dry, so once it turns brown, you just go in with a sander.
Okay, so after sanding off the wood filler, we did a little scuff sand all throughout. I'm not sure if you used a orbital sander or a palm sander or what. I'm not sure, I'm sorry. Oh God, we're always apologizing for not remembering things.
That's okay.
That's okay. Okay, so after scuff sanding the whole body and the drawer fronts. Oh, wait a second. We didn't scuff sand the drawer fronts. We completely sanded it down.
Oh yeah, we sanded it all the way down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at this point, when we sanded it down, I think we noticed that there were 2 holes. Weirdly enough.
Oh, God, yeah. So this is that one. Okay.
Yeah.
It takes me a minute to remember. This is one that, even though it had the 2 holes, we filled up those holes in the drawer fronts, and we hoped that it would look good enough to sell, and it didn't. We had a lot of people who would message and say they were interested, like, hey, is this item available? And then later on in the conversation, they'd be like, by the way, you know, what's going on? Why does it look that way? Why are there 2 holes? And we would say, you know, yeah, there are 2 holes. And it doesn't look great. So we decided to take the listing down and switch up the idea.
Yes.
But that's what we originally did, and we don't advise that.
Yes.
If it has holes, if it has 2 sets of holes and you're gonna be using wood filler, you need to either paint it or figure something else out, because people don't, you know, it doesn't look good. It's noticeable.
Yeah, it is noticeable. If we can notice it, everyone else can definitely notice it. If you guys do want to see how we created a exposed wood drawer front, go check out our last video. We recreated this style onto a larger dresser. So instead of just exposing the woods on the front, we decided to try burlap for the first time. It went really well actually in the beginning, kind of. We went in with Mod Podge, stapled the sides, trimmed off the excess, all that jazz, seal it up with more Mod Podge, and then I think we did 1 layer of polyurethane.
Yeah.
But this, after that, oh my gosh, we didn't really do a good job on the body. Oh, we didn't even talk about the body after scuff sanding it. So after scuff sanding the body, we went ahead and primed most of the body. We thought, I don't know what was going on in our heads, but we didn't realize the sides, like the insides, were exposed. So we forgot to prime that part. We forgot to prime the like inside walls. Yeah. When it came into painting, we were just like, oh, let's just use paint. Like, who cares? Like, that, it's not gonna be affected.
Now that she said that, I'm totally remembering. So we had the exposed burlap on the edges, and one thing we did in the next one that we didn't do with this one is we sanded down the edges where to leave more of a gap so the burlap wouldn't rub up against the dresser, because with this one it rubbed up and it scuffed up the paint and ruined it basically. So we had to go back in, prime it, paint it, seal it to give it that lasting durability.
Honestly, like if we had done things right from the get-go, which is prime everywhere, basically, then we wouldn't have come across this problem, but we didn't prime.
Yeah, don't take shortcuts.
No.
Because it's not worth it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You have to do a lot more fixing later on. Like if you think that you're gonna get away with things, you won't ever.
Yeah, you're not.
After going through all that trouble of priming, repainting, and resealing on just that inside part, we sealed the edges of the burlap drawers with a, I don't know what it's called.
Edge banding?
Edge banding. You're so smart. I love you.
I love you.
So we sealed it with some edge banding, which was our first time trying it out, and I think it turned out pretty okay. In order for it to fit properly, so it was, you know, it's like a roll basically, we cut it in half. Not hamburger style, we cut it hot dog style.
Yes.
And I think before we put on the edge banding, I might have, oh, I remember! I used some X-Acto knife and cut off the excess to expose the wood again. Oh my gosh, this was so much. This was a lot of work.
This was a lot, yeah.
So yeah, we used an X-Acto knife, removed all of the staples. And when we say all, we mean all. We
took all of the staples back off.
Oh, it was so hard because I put too much.
I don't think we talked about how we stapled. So
I did.
Oh, you did.
But I didn't talk about how.
Yeah, so we bought a staple gun. We stapled all of the edges, and then we ended up having to go back and take it off. It's a lot of work. This is not even our worst experience with burlap. After this, believe it or not, we got a little overconfident with the burlap. We were like, man, this burlap is great. We can put this on anything. And then, as you'll see in probably our next video, we tried to put it on a rounded surface. Boy, let me tell you, you wouldn't want to put burlap on a rounded surface.
At least not with Mod Podge.
No.
Nah, because that thing is
or
very...
in general, maybe, probably.
We'll see. We're still kind of working
see.
on that piece right now, so we'll see if there's any kind of solution to the problem that we caused.
Yeah,
to it.
it's not for the faint of heart.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Not for newbies. Not for us. This should not be something we should have been working on.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh well, it's okay.
We're learning.
Honestly, I think going through all that struggle that we've been going through for the past 2 weeks with almost all of our pieces, it's kind of perfect timing right now since we're not too busy with selling commission pieces. It's giving us a lot of time to grow, experiment,
try things out, see what works.
Yeah, it's kind of a good thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so after fixing the whole drawer fronts, after fixing the edge banding in order for it to slide smoothly, we tested it out, we put it in the drawers, or we put it in the dresser, and it rolled almost perfectly. There's a little bit of friction going on.
The bottom 2 drawers were perfect. The top 2 kind of rubbed against each other. It was a little too close in the middle. The first thing someone does when they come to buy a dresser is they test out the drawers. So the burlap on the burlap just felt awful. You don't want someone coming by and feeling that, and then they're like, ooh, I don't know.
I think it was already like that in the beginning, so...
Yeah.
Whatever. Alright, so that is it for this modern boho burlap dresser that was once a changing table. I hope you guys can learn from our mistakes and do it right the first time.
Yes.
If you found this entertaining, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you guys want to see from us too, like if there's any kind of specific styles you want to see us try. We're here to experiment, we're here to fail sometimes.
Yes.
And hopefully you guys can learn from our mistakes.
If you have any questions, drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone, so ask away. That's gonna be it for this video.
Peace!
Peace, we'll see you in the next one.